Hi guys, it's Nina from VR Focus. I'm joined by
Steve Arnold. I'm the head of Oculus Studios for Oculus.
Can you tell me a little bit about the content and what you're going to be showcasing at OC5, the big announcements?
Well, today we're mostly focusing on our Rift content. So for us, that's Stormland, Defector, Echo Combat is here, and we're talking about Lone Echo 2 for the first time, which is really exciting. The sequel to one of our best, most highly rated games in VR.
So let's run through them. What are they about? How long have you been working with the developers for? Like, what's their story?
So we'll start with Stormland from Insomniac Games. They've obviously been making games for a long time. This is now their fourth VR game with us. So it's really cool to see their evolution as a developer in VR, kind of what they've learned and how they've built upon kind of what's come before. And Stormland in particular is a very open world, open exploration game where you have full freedom of movement and locomotion, where you can walk, run, climb, and even glide over these clouds in the Stormland environment. And you'll be doing a mix of exploration, of combat, of kind of discovering this land that is actually regularly evolving and will change over time. So
is that like an open world? Is it continuous forever?
Not necessarily continuous forever, but it will go on for quite a ways. And then on a regular basis, we will actually change the layout of the map. And so it will look different. The different biomes you can explore, the different enemies you'll encounter, and the different kind of objects you can collect, resources you can gather to craft new armaments for yourself, weapons and stuff like that, that will regularly change.
Cool. And the other games?
So the other games, we have Defector from Twisted Pixel. They're the team behind Wilson's Heart. And hopefully everyone played B-Team on the Go, which was an amazing little game that those guys did. And Defector is living out the fantasy of being the ultimate spy, being in a James Bond movie, being in, Mission Impossible. And so we have these crazy over-the-top action set pieces that you're taking part in, whether it's, diving out of a plane, flying from one to the next, even driving a car out of the cargo hold of a plane. So a lot of shooting, a lot of gadgets, a lot of kind of spycraft involved as well.
And you're showcasing a new map here. I just tried it out, like I was in India.
Yes.
And is this game already out?
No, this game comes out next year, 2019, yes.
Do we have like some dates or prices on that?
No dates just yet. One of the things that we really care about with Oculus Studios is making sure that quality is the most important thing. So we try not to announce dates until we're really close to the actual launch and when we feel really confident that the game is ready to be released. But we feel pretty confident this one will be in 2019.
Fantastic. And the other ones?
And the other one, so I'll start with Echo Combat from Ready at Dawn. Obviously, they've done amazing work in VR to date with Lone Echo and Echo Arena. Echo Combat is the evolution of kind of what they did with Echo Arena. It builds on their social lobby and allows for taking the really unique and interesting locomotion that they developed for Lone Echo and adding a layer of team-based combat on top of that. So really fun. It's out in beta right now and will be coming out later this year. And then Lone Echo 2, which we're incredibly excited about. We're continuing the story of Jack and Liv in VR and seeing kind of where they go. I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't played the first one, but it is a really cool, compelling story.
It's like a huge, big VR franchise for Oculus, I suppose.
It is kind of the closest we have to like a really major franchise that is developing and one we've iterated on for over two and a half years now. So yeah, it's exciting for us.
And as a studio sort of working on, I suppose, like the closest thing to a franchise, how do you decide to help make something grow like that? Is it something that you decided from the very beginning, or you decided this has the unique story, it's got the unique locomotion, that's why we decided to back this?
Yeah, it is kind of a combination of everything. We have a developer that we already know is a high quality developer. We always like working with those, and they developed something again in that zero-G locomotion that they do that we knew was compelling almost no matter what you were doing with it. And so, but on top of that, they then developed this really cool story where you feel so connected to Olivia Rhodes in the story. Even as the Jack robot character, that we wanted to see that continue. We wanted them to build on that relationship. We always talk about how presence and social interactions are incredibly powerful in VR. I think there is something about social interactions, even with an AI, that can be really interesting and special, where you're almost convinced that there's this other character there and you're living part of their story. So we wanted to see more of that, but also we wanted to keep building on that locomotion because we know people love it and it's kind of fun to do in VR.
Yeah, and are there any other games that you'd like to mention as well?
I think those are the only ones we're talking about here today. So we have a lot more games in development. We're working on stuff out to 2020 and 2021. Just not quite ready to talk about those yet.
I was just curious, there are indie game developers here, but you do mention that you were sort of working together with pre-existing, well-known developers. How do you choose and how do you decide what project works well? Is it solely based on a developer's experience in virtual reality, or is it also their past history in gaming? Or what if it's just a good concept and they have absolutely no experience whatsoever?
It's a little bit of all of that. If they have a history in gaming and have demonstrated success, we're more likely to work with them just based on a pitch or an idea or something like that, because they've demonstrated an ability to deliver on what they've said in the past. For a smaller studio who maybe we haven't worked with in the past, or someone who is kind of just coming into VR for the first time, a lot of times we look to see if they can demonstrate competency in what they're pitching. So if you have an indie developer, we're always open to hearing their pitches, but a lot of times they'll have to come with a demo or something like that so they can demonstrate that, yes, we can deliver on this promise, because everyone has amazing ideas. And really the difficult part is translating those into games that actually deliver on that promise. The other thing I'd add to that too is we always try and work with developers who've proven competency in a particular genre as well. Ready at Dawn, as we were just talking about, is a perfect example. They've been doing narrative-driven kind of character interactive experiences for so long that we know they can, if they say they're going to do X, Y, and Z, that they're going to do it. So if ever a developer comes to us with a pitch where we don't necessarily have that background, then we usually work with them either on an early prototype or we ask them to develop it and kind of prove it to us before we take that next step. But we're always willing to listen to kind of pretty much any developer at this point.
So what I'm seeing with a lot of the content here is a lot of it is video games. I'm wondering if you're also looking into, I guess, cinematic VR, in a sense, like filmmaking. It's something that's not particularly under the category of gaming?
No, we very much are. As a content team in general, we look at all types of contents, whether it's gaming, non-gaming, kind of even interactive applications that are maybe more focused on productivity, things like travel and experiences like that, incredibly important to us. I have a counterpart, Colm Slevin, who runs a team that is focused 100% on kind of narrative-driven experiences that really are non-gaming. They always have light interactive elements to it, but they've done some amazing work, whether it's Obama's The People's House or Notes on Blindness, stuff like that, where, yeah, is very much focused on a broader audience, something that even gamers can appreciate, I think, but isn't necessarily targeted at that community.
And with regards to out-of-home VR entertainment, that's like a growing area. Are you guys looking at making specific content or helping developers work with the Oculus hardware to build something like that?
Yeah, certainly yes to the latter. We definitely want those kind of location-based entertainment companies to use our hardware. One of the biggest, kind of most popular, well-known ones, The Void, does use our hardware, at least aspects of it. And so we're always looking to encourage that and help them in that respect. We've had some conversations about using some of our content in those in location-based entertainment centers. Haven't found the right partner or the right opportunity, but we're certainly not against it. I would say our focus tends to be on making sure that our content gets to as many VR gamers as possible. And today that is more the home kind of VR consumer, not necessarily the location base, but we want to see VR grow wherever it possibly can.
Fantastic. And are there any new exciting stuff that you could tell us that you're focusing on for next year? Is it content? Is it hardware? Is it storytelling? What is it?
My team in particular is 100% focused on gaming, but again, Oculus in general is focused on all types of content, not just gaming, but experiences, applications, and Oculus will always be focused both on research as well as hardware, looking 5 to 10 years out as well as just 1 to 2 years out. So there's always stuff coming.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Head over to vrfocus.com if you want to learn more about virtual reality, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you very much.
Thank you.